What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. In reading the reports about Anthony Davis returning, there's different things or different notions out there. Will the Lakers be better when Anthony Davis come back? Are the Lakers a better team with Anthony Davis? Are the Lakers a better team without Anthony Davis? Will Anthony Davis solve all the Lakers' problems when he comes back, when they enter the play-in tournament? First of all, not only all that's, really, nothing but speculation, but at this point, you have to take all that with a grain of salt to a degree, because Anthony Davis, I don't think Anthony Davis is the answer to their problems. I've said before over and over, when you think about the Lakers, the biggest issue with them is their defense. And it just doesn't seem like that's going to get better anytime soon. Now, there are reports that Anthony Davis, will return in early April. So if that's the case, if that's like a set point for Anthony Davis to return, maybe early April, something like that. No really specific date, but I mean, even still, when he returns, I don't know if I don't believe he can make the Lakers a better team, because, like I said, when he was playing, they weren't a better team. I mean, at one point in this season, wasn't all three of the players out there, him, Russell Westbrook, and LeBron James, and they were still losing, still blowing 20-plus point leads to teams they should beat, like the Thunder and all those other type teams. I mean, he was there earlier this season. People in the media act like Anthony Davis wasn't playing earlier this season, or Anthony Davis wasn't, he hadn't stepped foot on the court none this season. He's played this season. He's played several more. He's played a lot of games this season, and well, maybe not a whole lot, but I mean, he's played enough games this season to evaluate his season in regards of what he's given the Lakers, and it really isn't much, because I've seen him get outplayed by Karl Anthony Towns, several other players, just dominating him. Giannis dominated him. I mean, it's just like, to me, Anthony Davis is a top 5, top 10 talent, but unless he's playing like that, it really doesn't matter. And I just don't feel like what he brings to the team is really going to make them so much better than what he brought earlier this season when he played. And they were still in the slump that they're in now, basically. I've said before, Anthony Davis played good in the bubble a couple seasons ago, but that was a different type basketball atmosphere. That was way different atmosphere, way different everything, intensity, way different gameplay. I mean, 99% of the players didn't even want to be in the bubble, didn't even want to do it, because it was so much restriction. It was so much, of what they're not used to, and not being around their family, not being able to, have that open line of communication like they wanted, having family members around, being able to just go out, do what they want to do because of the pandemic and everything. And the Lakers benefited off it greatly, because LeBron was getting older, and, that definitely, I'm pretty sure they wanted to win one for him and for Kobe Bryant too, what just happened. They had a lot on their shoulders, and they had that chip on their shoulder, I believe, because of those things. And that really helped propel them and, push them, so I mean, it worked out for them, but at the same time, Anthony Davis hasn't been he hasn't looked like a top 5 player or top 10 player since that time. And that should tell you something, because outside that bubble, Anthony Davis looks like he did on the Pelicans. He looked like he can dominate at times, play well at times, and look like he's aggressive at times, but he just doesn't impact the game the way the Lakers feel like he should or want him to. Because honestly, by now, he should be the best player on the Lakers. And as long as LeBron James is on there, I'm still going to look at LeBron as the best player, because Anthony Davis just doesn't have that aggressiveness, that dog, that dominance in him like that. He has the talent, but he doesn't have the dominance. And when you have one without the other, when it comes to that, it really deteriorates your value over time as a player on a team that's supposed to be able to, help them win and help them be, a better team going forward, and help them be a championship type team. So, Anthony Davis is not going to be the end all be all for the Lakers. He will help them some. Don't get me wrong. He will help them some just because of his presence. And, he will have nights where he'll drop 30, 40 and have 10, 15 rebounds, something like that. But Their biggest problem, as I said before, is defense. And honestly, their other biggest problem really is LeBron James, because, not only because LeBron is getting all these headlines for all the stuff that he's accomplishing, and nobody's talking about really people are talking about how bad they're playing, but it's being overshadowed by LeBron's accomplishments. And that's not what the Lakers need. The Lakers need to look each other in the eyes and look each other in the mirror and see what's really going on, not looking at LeBron James stats and him about to break the record and all these other type things. All that's irrelevant. When you wear the purple and gold jersey, it's all about winning championships. Who cares about breaking a record if you have a losing season and you're 10 games under 500? I don't know when Kareem broke that record. I don't know what the record was. I wasn't born then, but I'm pretty sure they won't 10 games or 11 games under 500 while he's playing that good of a basketball. I just don't see that. It could be, don't get me wrong, it could be, but somebody gonna have to go back and check on that for me. But I just can't see, somebody breaking a scoring title and you're losing every single night and looking embarrassed while you're doing it. I just feel like, they should overlook some of LeBron's accomplishments as of right now, just for the sake of the team being better. Because I guarantee you, if you ask LeBron or any other great player, they will sacrifice accomplishments for championships. Any great player will tell you that. Any great player will sacrifice accomplishments, individual accomplishments, for championships, because championships put you in a whole nother realm. It puts you in a whole nother stratosphere. The reason why Michael Jordan is looked at as the greatest basketball player of all time, not because he's the best leading scorer of all time. He's not the all-time leading scorer, but that's not what made him the greatest player of all time. What made him the greatest player of all time is the dog that was in him, the dominance that was in him, and the fact that he's never lost the NBA Finals, and the fact that he's never been in a Game 7. That's what made him the greatest player of all time, not the fact that he has the all-time scoring title. See, that's stats. Individual stats don't take you nowhere. Winning championships takes you to a whole nother level. And that's what LeBron is about. And any other great player would probably agree with that. So, the Lakers' woes being overshadowed by LeBron's individual greatness is a big problem as well, which is my point. So as long as they keep doing that this season, the Lakers will keep folding. And that's just what they're doing. They win a game. Honestly, on average, I think they win like 1 out of every 10 to 12 games That's what it looks like, or they win one out of every 8 to 10 games. It's just not good basketball. So when you look at it from that standpoint, it's pathetic. And, like I said, I don't know if Anthony Davis can make that much of a difference, but he could make a difference. I'm not going to say he's not going to make no difference at all, because he can, so we'll see exactly how it all pans out for the Lakers, but I don't see it going in a good direction, because I just don't see this team being a threat to anybody. And, depending on whether they even make the play-in tournament, I'm not sure if they could beat, whatever team they face in there. I'm just not sure. And right now, that's a far-fetched situation, because with, 7, 8, 6, 7 games, whatever left in the season, the Lakers are fighting for contention of that play-in spot. The Pelicans just won last night again, and it's a big showdown versus them going against the Lakers, on Sunday. So, that's going to be like probably one of the Lakers' hugest, if not biggest, games of the season. So we'll see, how it pans out and everything like that. But, I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers don't even make the play-in tournament. And then it won't even matter whether Anthony Davis comes back or not, or if he comes back in time before that. But still, it won't even matter, because, as I said before, how do we know Anthony Davis is not going to get hurt again if they do make the play-in tournament? He gets hurt every game. He doesn't. He's just like he was on the Pelicans. He stayed hurt a lot, and they weren't able to rely on him to carry the team as much as they thought he could have been. He could. He had one really dominant or good season with them, I think, when they made the playoffs that year and they played Golden State in the first round. They got beat down, but still, he still carried them to the playoffs. I think their first playoffs they actually got into. So mean, he done some good things there, but overall, he's just an injury-prone star player, and he always has been. And I just don't know. You can come back from injury after injury, but it wears on you after a while. I don't care who you are, and especially if you're a 7-footer that's very lanky and tall and don't have much weight on you like him. And he has got a little bit bigger, but still, it doesn't matter. All the wear and tear he's having, along with all the injuries he gets from every 3 to 5 games he gets injured, he's not going to come back the same every time. And I just don't feel like him coming back is going to make the Lakers, or is going to put the Lakers over the top. I feel like it's going to make them a little bit better. But what about the defense? Their defense is their biggest problem. Everybody knows that. Everybody can see that. It's not one team that they played that can't get what they want offensively against the Lakers. And when you think about great Laker teams, they just don't play that way. They didn't play that way. They didn't play, with just a sense of urgency on the offensive side. They play with a sense of urgency on both sides of the ball. When you think about the Lakers teams that won a lot of championships, they play defense too. So, if you're not playing defense, you're not going to beat anybody. That's just the way it is. You might win one game or something like that in the play-in tournament, possibly if they make it. But if you go into a 7-game series with a team, you're not coming out of those 7-game series. More likely, don't matter who you play, because you're not good enough, because you don't play defense enough, and you haven't figured it out as a team to gel to get the chemistry to play better. And that's just what it comes down to. So my thing is, I don't think the Lakers are going to be much of a threat, even if they do make the play-in. But really, at this point, it's debatable, because if the Pelicans keep winning and the Pelicans win Sunday, well, it's over with. The Lakers are not even going to get into the play-in tournament. So we'll see how it pans out. Right now, definitely not looking good for the Lakers. Definitely not looking good for LeBron, AD, or Russell Westbrook, who's been the fall guy, who has played a little bit better lately. But lately, sometime playing good, that's not good enough. Consistency is what it's about when you try and win championships. And Russ has never been a consistent player in regards to, bettering his IQ, understanding the game, and consistent in winning. He's just not a winning type guy. He's a stats type guy. And if he can get his stats and, calm down a little bit, that's fine, but it's still not going to equate to the Lakers being a better team, because, like I said, his game is really built individually. It's not built for team play, because if it was, think about it. He done played with several superstars in the league and hasn't even been to an NBA. Well, he's been to an NBA Finals, but hasn't won a championship yet. So, it's hard to play with Russ, but at the same time, it's hard for him to get used to other people playing with them, because he's all in his own world, in his own head. And I feel like he just doesn't take basketball serious enough. I feel like he just looks at it as a regular job, which is the reason why, he hasn't gotten the residuals from it yet in regards to a championship. But hey, this is who they picked. This is who LeBron wanted. They got what they asked for. Now they're suffering the consequences of possibly not making a play-in tournament, where it's even crazier, because you have an opportunity to, get into the play-in tournament before you even get into the playoffs. This started the last couple seasons. Remember, years ago, it was no such thing as, a play-in tournament. So players ought to be, happy or blessed that they have an opportunity, or another opportunity to make the playoffs, even though you're playing so bad in the season. But hey, that just goes to show you how bad the Lakers are playing. They might not even make the play-in tournament, and that's really sad. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section as always. And hey, Khaliis out.